It's amazing how the lighting makes a huge difference. I was talking with one of my clients who sent over a video testimonial, and she had showed me what she did the day before and then the day after. And I showed her the comparison with the lighting situation. Man, huge, huge difference. And she even looked at it and was like, whoa, I need to fix my lighting because lighting makes a huge
Whole different
difference.
video.
Yes, that's the big thing when it comes to video is lighting, as we were just talking about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just had my overhead on and it blurred me out oddly enough. So we dropped down and just working with these two guys now.
Exactly. So lighting is huge. Welcome to Real Estate and Marketing and Coffee. This is a live show that airs every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific. And if you couldn't figure out by our opening, we are talking about how to create real estate videos and what to do with them afterwards. Now, if you're not a real estate agent, that's okay. If you're in business, you can still stick around and get tips here from today's episode. We opened with lighting. We'll talk more about that here in a second, but feel free if you're watching the live show on any of the streaming platforms to comment and say hello and let us know what you do, and we'll give you some tips around video for your industry. Now, today, Amanda, let's talk about how to create video for real estate and why it's important. And we actually have an example that we're going to show. So if listeners are watching this video, they'll be able to actually see some real examples and be able to pull some ideas from that as well.
Let's do it.
Now, when it comes to creating a video for real estate, what's the biggest thing that people should have, Amanda?
Oh gosh.
One topic.
A topic? Is that the answer?
Yes. Lighting is good though.
I was like, I don't know. Good lighting? Is this?
Yes. When all else fails, listen, when all else fails, good lighting is always the right answer, no matter what.
It's true. You could just sit here and talk about bananas and people would be like, that video looks intriguing.
Yes. Yeah. So anytime somebody's talking about video, always remember lighting. When you have good lighting, that's really all you need. Obviously, there's other things like audio and different things like that, but let's just stick to the basics there. Lighting is big. But having a topic. So for example, if you're selling 123 Maple Street, that's your topic. Like you're selling that property. Now, what you want to figure out is what can you do on video that can help sell that property without just saying Maple Street 123 is for sale.
Totally. Well, and that's a great point because I think so often people just want to do it's like checking a box, right? I need a video for my listing or I need a video for X, Y, and Z. And they don't really think about what is the outcome that I want the person watching this video to have? Is the outcome that I want them to buy the house? Is the outcome that I want them to know I'm a real estate? Like, what is the outcome? And then you design the video around what the outcome you're going for. So in your 123 Maple Street, we want to sell Maple Street. That's the goal. And so how do we sell Maple Street? How do we create a video that entices people to want to get in the door? How do we create a video that makes people ask more questions? And so if that's the outcome we're going for, then the whole video should be set up around that. And I think often it's just a checkbox. I need a video. We did the video. And that's great. You're taking it a step further than a lot of agents. But I think if you really want to maximize video in your business, especially in real estate, you have to think about the end user and the action step you want them to take.
So true. So true. And that's part of the planning that goes into place, right?
Yeah.
You know that you got to do a video and you have your topic, the Maple Street here, for example. And now it's what can we do to not just check the box, but maybe check a few extra boxes. And so when you're thinking about planning your video, and this is before you hit that record button, by the way, when you're planning your video, you have your topic, and then I'm going to say 3 talking points, which can be 3 features of the house.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a normal walking tour of the house, although that can be included. But think about the area around the house, the front yard, the backyard, the neighborhood, the park down the street. Like, what are some features that probably have not been shown or are not even on people's radar that you can then showcase and be able to put out there? Because that's what's going to make you stand out.
Yep.
And when it comes to recording your videos, you want to make sure that you put this in your what, Amanda?
Oh gosh.
Calendar.
Oh yes. I'm thinking so literal this morning. Yes. Put it in your calendar. Time block for it.
Yes, time block. We talk about this all the time, right?
Yes.
It's something that you have to do. Otherwise, if you don't put it in your calendar,
Mhm.
it's not going to happen because I can guarantee you, many of you are listening to this and you've probably said, "Yeah, I need to record my video.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on my
Mhm.
list. Has it gotten done?
Nope.
Nope.
Well,
It
and
has
here's what I think about. I say this with my client care clients all the time. And this is honestly the reason client care exists is because it's these things like nurturing and creating video content that when all of the now stuff happens, it tends to get pushed, like, oh, that video can wait till tomorrow. Oh, calling my client, wishing him a happy birthday will wait till tomorrow. It can. And then you're creating that habit of that. And then ultimately, none of it ever gets done because now is so heavy, right? And so if you put it, I always say if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Now there's some action steps that need to happen. Like you actually need to start living by your calendar in order
right.
for that statement to be true. Like I even move my calendar sometimes after the fact. Like if I didn't do what was there, I'm like, oh, like even if it's time blocked, like, or even if I like didn't have a meeting, I delete it because I want to be able to actually at the end of a week see my week. But I
Yeah.
think it's a really good way for you guys to start, even just throwing in 1 hour time block. Like you don't have to make it this big. This is where I fall short in time blocking all the time. I'll be like, I want to make 6 videos this week. So I'm going to do a 6 hour time block on Friday. I'm
Too
setting
much.
myself up for failure, especially if you dive into that. And
Yeah.
so set yourself up for success. I'm going to make one video. I'm going to put a 30-minute time block on my calendar and a time I know is open enough that I can do that. We'll have minimal distractions and then do it. It's
Yes.
30 minutes, so you're not setting yourself up for these big long things, but you're chunking it out to a bite-sized piece. And then you build that consistency and then naturally you can evolve into what you really want it to look like.
Exactly, and that's all part of that planning stage,
Mhm.
right? So when those of you are listening are like, "Oh my gosh, 30 minutes and I gotta record my video," you already would have planned out your topic and your talking
Yeah.
points. So it's not like you have to have
It's just
that
like
30
an
minutes,
execute time.
yeah, figure it all out, which we're gonna show in a minute here, an example,
Mhm.
and dive a little bit deeper on what you could do and where you can find those content ideas even if they're not on your own post.
Mhm.
This is a cool one. So stick around for that. So we have our topic, we have our talking points, and then you are picking a day and time to actually
Yep.
record. And then what equipment? That's always something that comes up. What equipment do I need? Do I need to have this fancy $200
Mhm.
Yeti mic? Do I need to have like this studio kit, everything? Listen, you got it right in the palm of your hands.
Yep.
This is all you need. This and maybe your headphones if you need it, depending on how loud the street might be or the house might be.
Yep.
Keep it simple.
Totally.
Your job right now is just to get
Mhm.
the videos created and put out there so that people can find them. That's your
Yeah.
job right now.
Well, the important piece is the content, right? And so if your topic is good and your talking points are good, then really if it's a crappy video,
Right.
and we want it to be great videos, right? I'm not saying just put crappy stuff out there, it'll be fine.
Right.
But like get out of your head about making it a flawless video every time. Like you don't always
Yes.
have to have the perfect lighting. You don't always have to have the perfect background or the perfect talking points, or you don't always have to flow so freely where you're not saying and when you can let go of
Oh
those
my
things,
gosh. Yeah.
you'll be more inclined to use this and leverage this as a resource. Like
I love go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that's the beauty, like we always say, of going live is because it gets you out of that space. Like we don't plan 98% of this. We have our talking points, we have our even down to our lighting. Like we know we show up, we sit down here, we do this. Like it's now plug and play because of the consistency we've had with it, but we don't map it out. And after how long we've been doing this, I no longer worry about saying or not having an
Right.
answer when you ask me a question. I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Right. Like you just, and it makes me more relatable. Like I'm
Mhm.
not perfect. I'm not always going to have the answer. And so I think there's some element of letting go of that pressure in yourself that allows you to really step into using resources that are at our fingertips like this. Like I love watching the real estate agents who live time or just in the middle of something and they pull out their phone and they like, even just a picture goes a long way in that. But so many people overthink all of that, and you don't have to. It can be as simple as, I'm just going to really quickly have this cool conversation with my client, and now I'm going to record a video and post it on my Instagram story so that people know the types of conversations I'm having right now. It doesn't have to be this like 15-minute eloquent anything. It can just be, I just had this conversation, this buyer had this question, and I figured you guys might have this question, so I'm going to answer it for you too.
Yes. And before we get to our example, I want to also mention, since you brought up the ums. So I had one of my clients recently who had watched their video and they were just like, oh my gosh, the ums. I can't believe I said so many times. And, they repeated it back as we were talking. And I said, don't worry about it. It's fine. The more you do this, the more that tunes out and that goes away. And the beauty of it was that she sent that video so everyone pay attention. This is what happens once you do the video. You can share it to different places. So social media, email, text, whatever. So my client had shared the video to somebody she's been trying to get in touch with for a while now, but they just haven't returned any of her messages. And she sent them the video, and the next day they responded and they set up a meeting with her because they watched the video. Did they watch the video and say, oh man, she says a lot. Nope, we're not going to be able to hang with her. We're not going to be able to call her back. No, they probably watched 30 seconds of the video to get a better idea of who she is and how she interacts with her clients and online. And they were like, you know what? I like her. I'm going to start to have a conversation with her to get to know her a little bit better. So
totally
remember that it doesn't matter if you're saying the ums or the likes or whatever, however many times. That's something that can be worked on the more that you do this, and you'll naturally work on that. And then you'll also tune that out because you're not so worried about it when you're putting it out there.
Yeah, it's really just, I was a communication major in college, and they would harp on this all the time, is the more you practice, like, and we all have them. Is the most common one, but we all have our filler words that we use. If we can't see, I just said, if we can't think of what we're trying to say, or if we can't quite communicate the word, we have these filler words. Most people it's, there's some people that are, yeah, so those types of vernacular that just fall out of our mouth. And they're really just, it's our nerves coming through. And so practice is really the only answer here, because the more you do it, the less likely you are to have those fillers, because you don't have those nerves, and you learn to allow space to think. Like, I might not have the answer right away. You might say, hey, Amanda, what is the one thing that you need when making video? I don't have to rapid fire go, this isn't a competition. I might say, Ed, there's a few lanes I'm thinking of this in. It could be this, it could be this. That can happen, and that can be your new filler, or finding ways to really draw out your words. There's different ways to walk through this to get rid of ums, but ums aren't bad. They're just fillers. That's all it is. It's another word if you think about it.
And that's
not the best thing to say, but it's not the worst thing. It's not like your video's ruined. And guess what? It makes you super relatable, because who else says who else doesn't know the answer all the time? Your clients.
Yes.
And really, this is why we fall in love with people on TikTok and Instagram we don't know, is because we get a glimpse into who they are and their relatability. And so really, that's all you're doing when you're sending videos, is being a relatable human. You're not doing anything else.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. So before we share the example, just to quickly recap. So you want your topic, you want some talking points, you want to be able to pick a day and time to record your videos. And remember, they don't have to be perfect. You're going to grab your phone, because it's always with you and it has a great camera, and you're going to record those videos. And then once you record those videos, you can then share them to the appropriate channels. Now, when I say channels, I'm talking Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, your clients via text message, your clients via email, whatever channel is appropriate for that video, then you can distribute it to that. And it's super easy once you have the video file. So everything happens once you create that video.
Yep. Super duper easy.
Now, let's take a look at our example here. So, on the show not too long ago, we had another Amanda who was here helping us with personal branding, and we were talking about Selling Sunset. And if you're familiar with Selling Sunset, this is one of the agents, Mary.
Mhm.
And I brought up this video because this is a great example of what you can do, whether you're an agent answering questions or even a small business owner who wants to answer questions. Q&A
Mhm.
is always good.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to play the audio because it's going to be a little distracting, but I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And I want you to see what happens. I'm going to put this full screen real quick just so you can see. Look at where Mary's eyes are. If you can, do you notice anything that stands out when you look at where her eyes are going?
I do.
And Amanda does. Okay, Amanda, tell us what do you see when you're looking at this video?
Yeah, I notice, and she's doing it a lot better than some, but she's looking at her script. Like it's the equivalent of me right now. This is me looking at another screen that I have here, and it's not totally disengaging, especially if I was like split screen right now. Like, but you can tell my eyes aren't locked right on the camera. You can tell
Yeah.
I'm looking just slightly off. My eyes, like I even noticed this when we split screen because I'm looking at you, Ed, because we're talking, but my
Yep.
camera's up here and it's
Yeah.
distracting. It's not as engaging as this when I'm like, hey guys, real estate
Right.
marketing and coffee. Like I'm here, I'm locked in. But if it's
Yes.
this off, you're distancing yourself from your audience.
Yes. And that's why we talk about it all the time is that
Mm-hmm.
don't be scripted. Like I know a
Yep.
lot of you want to be scripted, and that's fine if you want to make your notes ahead of time and review them. But understand when you actually go to deliver the video, you just need your talking
Yeah.
points. That's why I say 3. Because,
Yep.
and as you can see, as this video loops, she has her 3 talking points. They're showing up on the caption, well, on the
Yep.
text on the screen. And so it's one of those things that it helps you be in the moment
Stay
and
focused.
be able
Yeah.
to connect with your audience versus having to look off to your script and see where you're at.
Yeah. To me, I call this, and I do this with just about everything in the client care lane, but really in all the lanes of real estate that I've sat in, is internalizing the message. And when I
Yeah,
internalize the message versus trying to memorize a script, it comes across wildly different, right? And so if I'm trying to say a certain phrase a certain way, this was always my hang up in college when I would deliver speeches, is I would try to say it the exact way I wrote it because the exact way I wrote it was so beautiful, so perfect. And really what I learned is the more I internalized the message, the more the message was a part of who I am. Like some of my voicemail scripts now, I could say them 18 different ways. I could flip it all kinds of around, forwards, backwards, whatever, because I know exactly what I'm trying to say. And so it's
yeah,
internalized. So find things like if you're just starting out, find things that you know and know well that you can talk about and feel like you don't need a script, or that you can talk about and can memorize 3 talking points.
yes.
And that's
And
it.
remember, agents, you have the flyers for the homes. You
Yes.
know your listing. So you have a script right in front of you. You just have to
Well,
pull 3 points off of there.
and totally cool if you're on your video to be like, hey, we're here at 123 Main Street, and
Yes,
this is 1,500 square feet. Yes, I read that right. 15, like use it to your advantage. Nobody's expecting you to have every detail about your listings or every detail about really anything memorized.
exactly.
You just
And
have to do it with confidence.
yes, and you spent money on those flyers, so why not show
Mhm.
them off a little more?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if you are interested in 123 Main Street, come get you one of these beautiful flyers I created. You'll see right here, square footage, bedroom count. You'll see my information. Should you want to talk to me again? Should you want to make it
Boom.
fun, make it engaging?
Exactly. It's so good, Amanda. And as we scroll down the TikTok video here from Mary, I want you to pay attention. Again, these are questions that you can even use for your own social. So pay attention to the people that you're following that are part of your industry and
Mhm.
look at the comments to see if there's questions that you have answers to and that you could create videos from. So,
Yep.
for example, as we look down here into the comments on Mary's video, there's a few that we want to point out here. One is best marketing strategy to get new clients.
Mhm.
Maybe you have an idea for that.
Yep.
you could create a video and that could be the title,
Yep.
best marketing strategy to get new clients.
Yep. Well, and one thing I love about this is she's coming at it from different angles. Like, I think it's great when real estate agents are very like one lane focused, but I think it's really great. And what I mean by that is like they're only sharing about listings or buyers or whatever.
Mhm.
Like they're only sharing one thing. I think it's great when they take multiple lanes like that. Like, let me talk to real estate agents. Let me talk to
Yes.
here's my people who are thinking of buying and selling. Like, hey, if you're in the buyer category, let me chat with you real quick. Hey, if you're thinking of selling, now's the time. Like, coming from multiple angles, because your following probably has a lot of real estate agents. Like,
Yes.
I'm a licensed real estate agent, and there are times when my Facebook, I'm like, I don't know a single one of these 400 friend requests I have. And it feels like that, where you're like, and I love you, real estate agents. You call it lead gen, you go through and you add all these people who are licensed on Facebook, and it's great. And leverage that.
Mhm.
You've got people there. Why not? Because then you can pass referrals to each other. So you're coming from multiple angles to make video really work for you.
Yes. And I
And
mean,
giving people a glimpse into a side of your world. People want to know what agents do. They're
oh yeah.
fascinated by it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the thing too. You're going to have people that are
Mhm.
following you to see what you're up to and
Yeah.
are curious about what you're doing. And just like what we're doing here with Mary,
Mhm.
we're going through, we're looking at the video, it caught some attention. We're
Yep.
looking at how she created it. We're sharing how you can recreate this. And then we're also diving deeper into the comments here to see
Yep.
what other tools that you can pull out here and put in your toolbox. And so here's another comment. I'm like a month in and have no clue what I'm doing. Now, that's just a straight comment, right? It's not asking a
Yep.
question. However, you could take this and still create a video off of this and have that as your title.
Totally. Are
No
you
clue
new
what
in real estate and feel like you have no idea what you're doing? Here's my 3
yes.
tips. It's really that simple. Or, hey, even more, maybe you don't have a big following like she does. I already forgot her name, but maybe you don't
Mary.
have a big following like Mary.
Yep.
And, you've got your 200 followers on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Ask your friends and family. Ask your people. Like, if I was really like, man, I can't think of any video, I'd call up Ed and be like, hey Ed, what are you curious about? Like, you kind of know what I do. Like, what are you curious about as it relates to my lane? Hey mom, like if
Exactly.
you were to like really want to know what I did, what kind of videos would you want me to, you know, especially agents, because people are so inclined to want to know what you do, because it's kind of this, I think a lot of people think real estate's as simple as like, okay, I opened a door for you and now I get paid 40 grand, like bing,
Right.
bang, boom. Right. And then they see real estate agents in real life. Like when they know them, they see them working all the time. And so then there's like this mystery of like, what's going on behind the scenes? Like they don't really know.
Right.
And so they want to know. And there's this natural curiosity. So ask your people. If you don't have followings of people commenting on all your videos, asking you these questions, leverage the people that are in your space, or like we're saying, in other people's spaces. This
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like my friend Emily Shepard down here said, I wish I had someone successful giving me advice. You can just
Right.
say, hey, Emily asked this, or someone asked this. It doesn't even like, you don't
Oh
even
yeah.
have to say, I saw this on someone else's post.
No, that's the beauty of it. Like, here's another comment. What made you want to get into real estate?
Yep.
Hello, if you're an agent, you should be having this question on your stream, on your news feed. Like this is a great question that you could answer for yourself
Mhm.
and have it as what made me get into real estate? And then you go into I started in real estate
Yep.
because my mom was a fantastic agent who was looking to, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Expand or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is
Or,
what makes you relatable, and this is what allows you to share who you are, why
yep.
you do what you do, and still promote your business and
Yep.
your services in a different way that doesn't feel slimy or sleazy or anything like that.
Well, and it's a great opportunity. I call these like resume questions, because in a lot of
Yes.
ways it gives you the opportunity, like you're saying, to share more about who you are in a very subtle way. And so you have the opportunity to repurpose videos like this in multiple lanes. Like you could make a what made me get into real estate and then put that on your website under your about me section. Like, hey, if you're
Yes.
curious why I'm a real estate agent, why do I do this? Let me tell you. And here's where here's why I call it a resume video. Because if I were to make that video, I would talk about my love for helping people, my love for creating systems and procedure, all of those types of things. So right now I've made this video, and I'm not your average real estate agent because I don't actively practice and sell. So for you agents, this would be wildly different. But I imagine you guys would say something along the lines of, I love helping people. I've grown up with the fascination of the housing market. I love, research like that. I love neighborhoods, whatever. That type of information. Now you get to leverage that and like hey, here's why I did it. And then it gets to come off as like a resume, like, hey, here's why I want to hire that person as my agent. Because she just told me that she loves systems and procedure, and that's important to me. She also just told me that she loves helping people, and I want to be helped. So now you're answering a question, but you're giving them like a little bit of a nonchalant, subtle sales pitch in a way.
100%.
That you can repurpose in multiple. And then you can keep resharing it. Like, hey, I just found, like, let's say I created that video and I was a practicing real estate agent. And then maybe I found out in my state, like, more real estate agents than ever are signing up, or maybe they're dropping out. I don't know. Either way, hey, I just heard this in Washington State. We just lost 25% of our real estate agents because of the market or whatever. If you're curious why I got into real estate, let me share this.
Yeah.
Like multiple different times you can share that and that video be applicable. And now your videos and so now it doesn't take 30 minutes. Maybe now your Friday video takes you 10 minutes because you already have the video. You're just pimping it out in a different way.
Yep. And here's one more before we wrap it up here. What are the best tools to use to study your market? And so this is fun. Like, I'm already thinking in my head what I'm this episode over on my blog. And so I think I'm going to put together a list of the questions that I find on there. And then maybe we'll even talk about them on another episode in the future here to help all of you listeners understand these questions and how you can just pull them from right there, from comments that you're already doing. You're already browsing. You're already looking at other people's posts. So why not use it as market research and actually apply something?
Well, and make that time productive. Not saying aimless scrolling can't have some benefit in your life, but I'd rather make it productive. Like, let's use it as some lead generation time. Let's use it as some content creation time. Let's use it as some connection and networking. Like, let's put some productivity behind it so that business keeps working for us, even in those slower times.
Exactly. And so that's key. So what you want to do now that you've heard this episode is you want to be able to find 15, 20, 30 minutes in your day so that you can come up with a topic. You can come up with some talking points. Again, you can pull this from a flyer that you already have for a listing. And then you're going to want to pick a day and time to actually recreate that video. May or may not be the same day that you're planning. And then you're going to want to ask yourself, where do you want to share this? Is this going to a potential client? Is this going to a social media? Is this going on your website? That's where you can then distribute that video. And like we said here, you can take some of these examples. We went through, I think, 4 questions here that you could literally take today and run with one of those as one of your videos.
Easily.
And tag us on social media so we can see it.
Please.
Yes. Because, I mean, that's the thing. We put out all this information and we want to be able to see your wins. We want to be able to celebrate them with you. And your wins could be the fact that you took notes today, that you actually planned in your calendar when to record your videos. And your win could also be you actually recorded the video and you tagged us in the comments so that way we can see.
Easy. Well, and I love what you said. One little quick caveat, because I think it's really important when thinking about repurposing, because I fall victim of this. I just get in the moment. I record a quick video. Maybe I'm sending it to you. So I'm like, hey, Ed, just saw this. Now I've made it a little harder for me to repurpose that video because I've said your name. So having that forefront of where do I want to have this?
Yes.
So if I was making a video today that I wanted to send maybe to my team, and I also wanted to send it to some clients, and I wanted to send it, I don't know, somewhere else, my family. I want to make sure that I don't mix any of that up so that I can't repurpose it, right? So I don't want to say, hey, Ed, if I'm planning on sending it to 8 other people, because now I can't send it to 8 other people because unless they're all named Ed. So thinking of those things when hey guys, it's Amanda, like, don't say names if you're trying to repurpose it. So thinking through those things, thinking through where you want to say it. So like I notice it when I do it live on Facebook, if I want to reshare it on Instagram or something, because then I've said, hey, we're live on Facebook.
Yep.
Like even those things. So if you think through that, you're able to repurpose at an easier level.
I love that you brought that up. We won't dive into that because I know we're closing on time, but just to let everyone know, that is part of that planning process.
Yep.
And don't stress about it right now. Like that's something that you can work into. Like that's what I work on with my clients before they ever record their video. We already know what we're doing with it before we hit that record button. So that way you can bypass that and be able to have a more generic, if you will, video that can be shared in multiple places so that it's not awkward that you're talking about Facebook when you're on Instagram or Instagram when you're on TikTok or whatever it may be.
Totally.
So as we wrap up here, we like to let you know in case you need more support, you can reach out to either one of us. Amanda, give them a little snippet of what you do and why they would want to reach out to you.
Yeah, totally. So I'm the director of our client care division with Closer Pros. So if you guys need help staying in touch with your past clients and sphere of influence so that you can continue to work with your now business, give me a call. We design customized strategies for you guys to really fill in that gap and help you guys nurture. And Ed, how can they work with you?
Yeah. So anytime you are struggling with video, you're not 100% comfortable with it, and you're trying to get better at creating your videos and actually putting them out there, that's when you're going to want to reach out to me. You can head over to my website at troxell.com, and you can chat with me anytime. You'll see me down in the lower right-hand corner saying, chat with me. And just have a conversation with me. Let me point you in the right direction. I got free resources, and I have a paid program that helps you with your video coaching. So reach out to either one of us so that way you can further support you in your journey here. And if you need anything else, we're here for you. And we'll see you back here next Monday at 8 a.m. here for the live show. If you're listening to the replay, well, you know how to get a hold of us. Just reach out to us on social or over on our website. Until next time, take care, everyone, and we'll see you next Monday.
See ya.